Here with one of our members named Emma, and we're going to be talking about one of her articles surrounding mental health.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you guys.
Of course. Do you want to introduce yourself, your name, major, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I'm a sophomore elementary ed major. This is my second semester being a part of her campus, and I'm really enjoying it so far.
Okay, great. So talk about your article and mental health and all of those things.
Yeah, so my article was actually dedicated to my boyfriend. His name is Elijah, and I, of course, like everyone else, has experienced mental health problems and stuff like anxiety, but his story I think is just so I don't even know what the word to describe it. It's just I've never really seen anyone's experience that crazy and then have them come out the other end and still be a happy person. So I really think it's important to see that no matter how difficult life can get, you can still make it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Would you say that mental health is something that you advocate for?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important to advocate for mental health and to spread awareness because there's a huge stigma that sharing your emotions is not a good thing to do or that nobody really cares, but people kind of bottle emotions that way and that's really not a good thing to do. So I think it's really important to advocate for mental health and spread awareness.
So you say that you want to be a teacher, like you're an elementary education major. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think that when you teach in the future that you'll try to spread awareness, maybe in teaching and in schools and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, 100%. Something that we learn about is having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So it's really important, I think, to let students know that they always have room to improve and to, do stuff to their best ability. So I'm definitely going to advocate that in the future classrooms.
Yeah, for sure. So just talk more about mental health and that kind of stuff and in general and just how you stand and all of those things.
Well, I think that everyone, has their own battles that they deal with, and not everybody is vocal about those problems that they might be having. But I think that people kind of, I guess, supporting one another more and advocating for mental health more would really kind of, I guess, motivate people to be more vocal about their problems. So then it's kind of like a domino effect, like more people will want to talk about their issues, and then we can all just kind of help each other in that way. And maybe, I mean, mental health is never gonna necessarily get better, but we can help support each other so that it's not as bad at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think mental health is super important, and I think that we should I guess just start as a society being more accepting and open towards mental health and all of those things, and just be more accepting as people and talk about it more and
Yeah.
all of that. And I don't know, I definitely agree that there's a stigma surrounding mental health and not wanting to talk about things that are bothering you, but I would agree it's okay to not be okay. And I think that people need to learn how to talk about those things. And I think that with atmospheres like her campus and social media and all of those places, I think that it gives you a space to talk about issues that bother you. And I like that I don't know. I feel with social media and things like that becoming so popularized, I think that the rise of mental health becoming more, I don't want to say accessible, but more destigmatized is also becoming more popular as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think that social media is, I mean, you can get a lot of helpful resources on social media, of course, but I think that a lot of people kind of look at social media like beauty standards, for example, and they'll look at it and think oh, well, I don't look like that, so there's something wrong with me or something like that. And of course, that has a negative effect on your mental health. But I think something I like a lot about her campus is that you can talk about those issues and people can learn more about it and you can get support from not only people on her campus but anyone that reads your articles.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely think beauty standards are a huge part of it, and just like comparing yourself to like other people's lives in general can be like a very negative impact and all that stuff. But I think what it comes down to is just like learning what's real and what's not and all of that stuff. And yeah, and like finding people that support you and everything like that.
Yeah, having a support system is extremely important, and whether that's like family or friends or a romantic partner, like you just having a good support system is important. You know, like you can't like you can fight your battles on your own 100%, but it's always easier with the support from a loved one.
So I just want to throw in something real fast. I'm looking at your article right now, and in case you guys are wondering, on our website, it's hercampus.com/school/Winthrop, and your article title is "You're Worthy: Conquering Your Mental Health," and you add some baby steps into conquering it. Do you kind of want to touch on those baby steps a little bit?
Yeah, I think that the main reason I put them in there is because getting help when you need it is not an easy thing to do at all. And you need to start slow in order to get to the point that you want to be at. So, reading about those baby steps, and it can kind of inspire you and make you realize like it's not as hard as it seems to be to get help. So, I just think it's really important to take things slow because even though it might not happen like overnight, it can get better.
Out of the baby steps you listed, and I know you wrote this article a while ago, is there one that sticks out to you that you feel might be the most helpful?
I mean, I think all of them honestly are really important, and I mean, you don't necessarily have to follow every single one, but I think by hitting each of them, they all have kind of their own importance, and I think recognizing that you need help is the first like big step that you can take for yourself.
So some of the baby steps you listed was reaching out to a trusted loved one, finding hobbies that make you feel good, downloading apps to track your mental health, and practicing meditation. I really think that one's pretty interesting. Are there any apps that you recommend?
I've used several apps in the past. One that I have now is called Dare, and it has all kinds of resources on there, and you can kind of do like daily check-ins. There's another one, I think it's called Mind Doc, and it's like you do daily check-ins 3 times a day, and every 2 weeks it kind of gives you like a report on how you've been doing and then gives you whatever resources you might need for help. So stuff like that is really helpful because it's not just like writing about your feelings, you're also getting resources based off of exactly what you need.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Also, looking at your article, you also have some other resources like the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, stuff like that. Is there any other websites that you know off the top of your head that might be helpful for someone who's struggling?
I don't know like them by name, but the Suicide Prevention Hotline also has a website. You can go and like have an online chat with someone if you're not really comfortable talking on the phone. And there's also specific websites for South Carolina if that's easier or you want something more local.
Awesome. So I guess why was mental health like so important to you? Just like in a really broad sense.
I think that seeing loved ones struggle a lot and like just not getting the help they needed really inspired me to kind of influence others in getting help and like letting them know it's okay if you are not okay, and like reaching out and getting help is important, and I feel like people need to know that, so I really wanted to spread that awareness.
That was a great answer. Are there any other articles that you've written that kind of goes hand in hand with that, or are you planning on writing any more articles that touch on that subject?
The article I'm working on right now is about beauty standards, actually, and part of it is going to be about, like, the negative effect that it has on mental health, so, yeah.
What are you going to talk about, like, in the beauty standards article? Like, what have you outlined? Because that's, like, kind of a broad concept, and I know we talked about it a little bit already, and, like, how it can, like, negatively impact your mental health and everything, but, like, what have you sort of, like, thought about for this?
I've started working on it, and what I've already written is kind of, like, how beauty standards have changed so much over time. Like, the beauty standards are not anything official, they just are constantly changing. So I kind of highlighted some of the beauty standards throughout time, and they're totally different. Like, there's eras where like having like a round belly is really attractive, and then now it's like having a flat belly is what is really attractive according to society. So I talked about that, and I also want to highlight like how a lot of young girls now are getting phones and going on social media and seeing stuff like that. So it's just putting a bad example, I think, in their minds. And people, everyone's heard stories about how people spend like thousands of dollars on plastic surgery and stuff, and that can just get like really dangerous. So those are the kinds of things I'm going to be talking about.
Is there anything else you would like to add that we didn't touch on?
No, that's all, actually. I was going to mention the Lifeline, but you brought that up, so.
Well, if you're interested in reading any of Emma's work, you can head over to our website, hercampus.com/school/Winthrop. Under, there is a tab called Chapter Members. Just look for Emma's name, click right on it, and then you can view all of her articles and read the one that we just touched on. Yeah, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.